They told me it was completely and utterly unrealistic. And as you can see, I'm sitting in this car, so you know, I didn't budge. I'll tell you guys that right now. So stick around and I'm gonna let you guys know how this progressed. Alright, so if you clicked on this video, then obviously you want to know the best way to save as much money as possible when looking for a vehicle. So that's exactly what I'm going to give you guys in this video. You know, I'm going to give you all the knowledge that I know, that I've compiled over the years of doing research when it comes to getting the best deal possible. I'm gonna let you guys know how I saved $10,000 on this BMW M4 that I'm sitting in right now. And there's a lot of key tips, you know what I'm saying? It's not just one thing, so make sure you stick through the whole video and watch till the end, because you might miss some very important information. And I'm gonna try to keep out as much fluff as possible, because I'm not trying to drag this video on. I just want to give you guys as much good information as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So if that's something you guys are interested in, stick around. That's exactly what we're going to be bringing to you. If you appreciate the content, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. I appreciate it so much. Without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, so when it comes to purchasing a vehicle, let me tell you guys what I did. I did my research, and that's the first thing you want to do. You always want to do as much research as possible. I looked around online, you know, I found out what the price of the vehicle that I wanted was, what the price of this M4 was. Not this particular one, but just in general. You know, I wanted an M4 competition. First, you got to know what it is you're looking for. Me personally, I wanted an M4 competition. I wanted low miles. I didn't want any accidents or anything like that. I didn't care too much about the color or anything like that. I just wanted a good deal with some low miles, and I wanted the competition package, and I wanted that 6-speed manual transmission. Those were like my non-negotiables. The competition package, I was kind of like, you know, thinking about cheaping out on, but you know, eventually I was like, no, that's something that I want. So those were my non-negotiables, and that's what you got to figure out before anything. Figure out exactly what it is you want, and then do your research. Find out how much it's going for. That's what I did. I looked online. I looked on Kelley Blue Book. They're gonna give you the fair value purchase price of the car that you're looking for. Found that and realized that, you know, that's gonna go down over time, down or up depending on the market. That's another thing that you want to know. What are the market conditions? For me, market conditions aren't good. Market's going down. I knew that. So I knew I had to be patient, and that's something that you're gonna want to do just in general, but we're gonna get more to that in a second. So this is a long process. Don't think that you're gonna go in right away and find a car. That's how you're not gonna get a good deal. So don't expect to go in right away and have a car within a week. Expect to wait a few months or so. You know, if you want to get the best deal possible, you really have to be patient, and that is one of the key things in getting the best deal, which we'll talk about in a second. But just expect for this process to take some time. So I looked on Kelley Blue Book, found the fair purchase value, which went down over time, as we'll get to. You know, I went on Car Gurus, I typed in everything that I wanted on this vehicle, searched nationwide, and I seen what everything was going for. That changed over time as well due to the market conditions. You know, I asked around to see what other people got it for. You know, you could look on YouTube, you could go to the forums, you could go on IG and, you know, DM people. A lot of people are cool. They'll get back to you and let you know. But just, you know, the more research you do, the more information you have on what it is you want, the more knowledge you have, the better off you're gonna be, the better of a deal you're gonna be able to get, and the more it's gonna work to your benefit when it comes to negotiating. You don't wanna go into negotiations, which we'll get to in a second, not knowing anything, because then you're just gonna look like an idiot. The people are not gonna wanna work with you. And if they do, they're gonna know that, you know, they have you exactly where they want you. If you come in and you're knowledgeable, they're gonna be like, okay, this dude knows what he's talking about. You know, we're gonna have to be on our P's and Q's and, you know, work with them. So once you do all your research, you know, you've done your due diligence, you have everything you need, you know, you found some deals that you are interested in, the next step is shooting your shot. And that's exactly what I did. I sent out some offers. Now, when it comes to putting in an offer, you want to give yourself some room when it comes to the negotiating. So since we're talking about the deal that I got, I'll let you guys know my whole process. So initially on this vehicle here, I'll let you guys know on this one in particular, obviously, because there was far more than this, but we're not going to talk about all those. On this one in particular, it was on the more expensive side. You know, I was kind of like putting it to the side because I was like, oh, that's too much, you know. And that's another thing, know how much you want to spend. For me, this was like a little out of the budget that I was looking to go for, so I wasn't really considering it. But over time I was like, you know what, maybe this is a good deal. You know, it was a one owner leased vehicle. It had everything that I wanted. If it had red seats, that would have been even better, but it pretty much had everything I wanted. Low mileage, manual transmission, it was in California. All the other deals were not in California. That's where I'm at. They were thousands of miles away. So, you know, take everything into consideration. And it was from an authorized BMW dealership, so it had so much going for it that, you know, I had to consider it. So when I sent out the offer, initially what I asked for was $65,000 out the door. And that's one thing that you guys got to know, is offer the out the door price. You want to ask for the out the door price, because there's so much taxes and other prices that they're going to throw onto it, that whatever price you end up getting, that's not going to be the price. So make sure when you're negotiating, you're negotiating the out the door full price of the vehicle. So when I threw them that offer, they were not having it. And I'll show you guys here. This is why you're going to want to be patient. Let me show you guys what they told me. Well, first I asked them, you know, what the out the door price was of the vehicle. And they told me it was $72,542, as you guys can see right here. That was their out the door price. So when I came to them and I said that, you know, what I could do was $65,000. And another key thing before we get to, you know, what I'm about to tell you, is you have to build rapport, you know, because if you just go in dry and you're an or whatever, the person that you're working with is not gonna want to work to get you the best deal possible. One thing you got to know and realize is the better of a deal that the person that you're working with gets you, depending on if you're working through a dealership or just a regular person. You know, if you're working through a dealership, that salesperson is gonna take a cut the better of a deal that you get. So they have to really like you to want to work with you and get you the best deal possible. You know, so build that rapport up. Make sure you ask them, you know, how their day is going. You know, if they have a family, what they're into. Don't go overboard with it, but just make sure you build that rapport. That's a very key thing in negotiations, which we'll talk more about in a different video. That's not so much for this one. You know, we're not going to get too deep on that. But even with the rapport built, you know, and it wasn't like, this wasn't too deep into the negotiations. This was just in the beginning, you know. As you can see, this is what they told me when I asked for the $65,000 out the door. They told me it was completely and utterly unrealistic. And as you can see, I'm sitting in this car, so, you know, I didn't budge. I'll tell you guys that right now. So stick around and I'm gonna let you guys know how this progressed. So once they told me it was completely and utterly unrealistic, you know, I just kept it cool. And that's one thing you want to do. A lot of people would be like, all right, well, F you guys then, you know, don't burn any bridges. You want to keep all your deals on the table. So I just kept it cool. I was like, all right, I understand, you know, I wish you guys the best of luck. You know, just remember that I'm here. If you guys change your mind, I will be looking for more deals, you know, and once I find what I'm looking for, I'm going to make a purchase on this car. So just let them know that you're serious. You know, I let them know that, you know, once I find the deal I'm looking for, I'm getting this car. But I wasn't gonna budge on, you know, what I knew I could get the car for. And another thing is, you want to give yourself some room, you know. So for this vehicle, once they told me it was 72 out the door, I didn't want to go too low, you know. So I should have actually gone a little lower with my initial offer, but I just didn't want to be too, you know, I didn't want to be disrespectful with my initial offer, because then they're just gonna laugh you out, the dealership or whatever, or, you know, in this case it was emails, but, you know, they're not gonna take you seriously. So I didn't want to go too low. Obviously, when it comes to used vehicles, you're not gonna have as much room to work with. Newer vehicles, you have much more room. But, you know, so I just kept it cool, like I said. Wish them the best luck. And another thing that was in my favor is this car had been on the market for quite some time. So I knew that, you know, I had more leverage than they did. So I just stayed patient. That is very key, very, very key. I stayed super patient, looked for more deals. You know, a few months went by and I just let them know, hey, I'm still here. You know, if you guys change your mind, let me know, because I seen the market was coming down. Like I let you guys know, the market conditions are not good still till this day, you know. So I seen the market keep coming down. The price on the car kept coming down. You know, initially they listed it for like over 65,000. It was dropping each month. It would drop more and more. So, you know, I would see that. And so I hit him back up and I said, you know, I'm still here just in case you guys change your mind. And, you know, when I sent that, he was kind of more open, because initially they were like, no, we're not budging. When I sent that, he was like, okay, well, you know, shoot me an offer. Last time you said 65. If you give me a better offer, you know, maybe I could work with you. And, you know, I just told him that I was aware of the market conditions. I feel like things are going to continue to go down. People are not buying right now. This car has been on the market for quite some time. The fair purchase price on Kelley Blue Book is what I'm offering. And, you know, I'm not really willing to budge. I'm going to stay patient. I feel like I'm going to be able to get that deal if I stay patient. And, you know, I just told him I appreciate your guys' time, appreciate your patience and working with me and talking to me. And, you know, waited some more time, kept building that rapport though. You know, I always kept it cool with the salesperson that I was working with. A couple more months went by or something like that. The price came down even more, and, you know, I eventually hit them up again and I said, I noticed the price came down even more. What would be the out the door price that you guys are asking for now? And what the dude told me was, he basically said, you know, we would be able to do it for 66,000 out the door. And he said, you know, it's only 1,000 away from what you were asking. And mind you, a few months previous, they were saying it was utterly, you know, unrealistic, completely and utterly unrealistic. You guys seen the email, you know, and now I'm 1,000 away from my initial offer. Just staying patient, building rapport, staying patient. At the same time, looking at other offers. I had an M3 that I was considering as well, you know, and I let him know of this. So I said, all right, you know what? You guys aren't too far away. I'm gonna go look at the vehicle. You know, I'm gonna test drive it, and, you know, I'm gonna check it out, because I knew going in there, you know, they would know I'm serious, and, you know, I would have even more of a chance to bring the price down even more. And let me let you guys know, this dealership, they said they're a one price dealership. You know, they don't budge on the price. So don't believe everything you read, you know what I'm saying? You just got to stay patient. And obviously the market was working with me. You got to stack the odds, as many odds as you can in your favor, and you got to work with them. So, you know, that's what I did. I told them I would go in. So as you guys seen in my previous videos, I showed you guys the whole process of that. Went in there, looked at the car, looked at everything, test drove it. You know, I told them I liked it, I liked everything, but I didn't get too overexcited. You know, I didn't let them know that I was like, you know, when I seen the car, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want. It was sick. The color looked even better in person. Like, I was so excited. You guys see, I have the whole video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But as I said in the video, I didn't want to show that excitement. So I just kept it cool. You know, after I test drove it, I wanted to take the thing home. But, you know, I went back in there and I said, you know what? I like this thing a lot, but I have that other M3 as well for a better price. So let me sleep on it. Let me contact that dealer, see if they want to work with me even more, and let me sleep on it. You know, and I seen his face. He's like, ah. It's like, all right, you know. So I left, and, you know, I feel like it was a good deal for the car. You know, low mileage, like I said, one owner leased vehicle. It had all the stuff I told you guys about, you know, going for it. So, you know, and it was the best, like, by a pretty good amount, it was the best deal that I could find, you know, from an authorized BMW dealership. It had the warranty still, you know. So I just called them and I said, you know what, before I contact the other dealer, and I wasn't even gonna contact the other dealer because I wasn't gonna do it. So at this point I was kind of bluffing, you know. Sorry, Raul, if you're watching this. I did bluff a little bit, but I did talk to there was an M3 on the table. I'm not lying about that, but I was like set on this car, you know. So I told him, you know what, before I contact the M3, let's get it to 65. Like you said, it's only 1,000 away from my initial offer. I'm here. I'm ready to do it. You know, I asked him too, I was like, you know, how many cars? He said he had a good day. He said he sold 4 cars that day, and I asked him what was his record, and he said it was 5. So, you know, this goes into building rapport, you know what I'm saying? So I said, let's do it. I'm here. Let's tie your record. Let's get that 5th sale of the day. I went towards closing time. You know, it's the end of the year. They got to get rid of this car. They've had it for so long. You know, I said all this stuff. I was like, you know, let's get it done. I'm here. And he hit me back and he said, you know what? I talked to the guys and boom, it's a deal, baby. Let's get it done, you know? And there it is, man. Through patience, doing your research, and like overall building a rapport and patience. Have patience. I waited so long, months and months and months. I was looking for cars. 7 months I was carless. More than 7 months I was carless, just looking, you know, putting out offers, getting denied, waiting. You know, you've seen the whole process with this car. This wasn't the only one I was working on. You know, there was many others that I was trying to get as well, but you've seen the whole process with this one, just staying super patient. And I ended up getting the car for $63,900, so just about $10,000 less than what they initially wanted. So if I would have just gone in and I would have been like, you know what, all right, fine, you know, I'm gonna pay what they want, I need a car, I'm carless, I would have spent $10,000 more than what I should have. And who knows, if I would have stayed even more patient, maybe I would have even saved more on the deal. But I felt like, you know, there was other people looking at the car. He told me and I believed him, you know, because somebody commented on one of the videos when I purchased the car, and he said, wow, this is the same exact car I was looking at. He named the dealership, and he said he was there the day before or something, or he went to look at it and it was gone, you know. So I felt like it was time to pull the trigger. This was the best deal that I had come across by a pretty good amount for everything that it had. So, you know, I decided to pull the trigger, save $10,000 just by doing all the research, you know, knowing what I wanted, knowing what I could get it for, building up the rapport, negotiating, and staying patient. With all that, that's how you get the best deal possible. Now in the next video, when it comes to this topic, I'm gonna give you guys more tips. I'm gonna go more in depth, you know, with some tactics that you can use. But that was just my whole process of getting this particular vehicle here, you know, a quick overview, if you will. But that's how you do it. Generally, you know, basically that's how you're gonna get it done. So like I said before, if you guys appreciated the video, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We got so much content to get to when it comes to this car, talking about it, doing stuff to it, doing stuff with it, testing it against different vehicles. You know, go check out all the previous videos and you could expect bigger and better things with this car here. So with all that being said, I appreciate your guys' time. Hopefully you found value in this video. If you did, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. I appreciate it so much. Until the next time, I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Salute.